for
Welcome to Jukasa Motor Speedway, the first sight of many seasons to come, and for the last two in the WTSS series, the World Touring Super Series. And immediately, before I even have a chance to introduce anybody onto this racetrack, we've already got a car on track, so we'll pan a camera out to that. But this is the rookie shootout. Last season, there were many, many more cars because of the field being an 80-car entry list. This season, it's been trimmed down to 40. Still, though, of those 40 cars, 11 are new faces to the series. And in this first minute and a half of qualifying, let's try and get acquainted with them as quick as possible, because this is a group qualifying session, and you're going to want to be able to pay attention to that more than the actual faces on the racetrack. Elijah Innes for Aqua Sim Sport, sponsored by RaceEPI.com. Trying to make a jump over to WTSS. He has stock car experience under his belt, especially on the ovals. This will be, but don't count him out on the road courses either. This will be his debut. We've got Daniel Giroux in a second car for the newly formed partnership of Ditech Van Dalen. Ditech switching over to an Audi-based team with a technical partnership with Van Dalen Autosport. Sponsorship from Rockwell Automation and Reese's. Next in line, I believe, is the 08 of Chanarong Wongzawat, who has not gone out on track yet. That is the Rocket Atkinson Touring Car team, the first ever SEAT run team in WTSS. And there are 3 entries that the entire touring car team has jumped over to this series. And while I'm at it, I might as well introduce you to the other two. Chanarong Wongzawat from Thailand, Jake Stevens from England, and Sebastian Van Dalen from the Netherlands, all jumping over out of their comfort zone, all 3 of them on an oval for the first time in their careers, all trying to just get a grips with this thing before the season started. It is a huge thing to get out here and get some track experience. That's what the rookie shootout is here for. Arni Nugroho, a team in which a lot of media members have not been able to get very much information about, as it has been hard to contact said team's PR, if they even have a PR team. But he's here
No, they
at
don't.
Jukasa with Fly Emirati sponsorship, a Toyota Camry that is far outdated, far past its shelf life, but he's here. The car is running, and it's on track on an oval, which I presume he has no experience on ovals either, but we wouldn't know that either because we couldn't ask. Roberto Crown Jr., the last second entry for Fingai Saitomi. There were multiple drivers in contention for that seat, but it ultimately went down to Crown Jr., who at the last possible moment, just before entry lists dropped for the season opening rookie shootout, ended up in the seat for the full season with sponsorship from Bass Pro Shops and Auto Owners Insurance. Cale Teskar Jr., Blue Sky Racing. His father owns the team. He drives it, and he's trying to prove that he knows a thing or two about driving on ovals. His debut in WTSS will be with Harley-Davidson, DeWalt, and Moose Fraternity. Allison Figueroa in the 98 for Reed Family Racing, replacing Jake Stavanaugh in that 98. We already have a driver coming in to change tires and make an adjustment. That's Sebastian Van Dalen, obviously not happy with the handling on that car currently, or still getting to grips with it. Alex Constantine for Turbo Sports, the first ever Lexus run team in WTSS with Mellow Yellow sponsorship, and with Old Spice on the back of the car. And finally, last but not least, Jeff McLennan from Australia, the first ever rookie to drive for Maverick. Out of all these seasons, it's the first time that team has entered a rookie driver on the grid. With Repco sponsorship, Mother Energy on the deck lid, another driver who has never stepped foot on an oval and is trying to get to grips with it as we continue.
May have to do with the fact that they were already affiliate team for all those years.
Yep, their first switch over to Subaru. Drivers are now starting to come in for some early adjustments here because they are obviously either not happy with the car's handling or think that they can make it even quicker. Elijah Innes, though, is quickest at the moment with a 20.091, nearly 2/10 quicker than any other rookie out here on track. Roberto Crown Jr. is in second with a 20.251, which he improves to a 228. So he's still finding time out there. There are people improving still. It looks like most cars are finding improvements as Figueroa jumps up to third quickest, but it's Elijah Innes who has found the quickest of them all, and maybe just with a little bit of help from the fact that he didn't have much traffic as he was the first car out on the racetrack, as Arni Nugroho jumps up to second quickest in the 45. to go P2 with a 20.214 and immediately gets usurped by 3 different people back to back to back. Figueroa with a 210, McLennan with a 174, and Teskar with a 212. Big improvements out there, but still, only 1 driver is even within a tenth of Elijah Innes. Wangzuwat does a 20.4. It's obvious that those Rocket Van Dalen cars, the drivers are trying to get to grips with the oval racing right now. Figueroa and McLennan both improved to 133s and 192s, but still, nobody even within the ballpark of Elijah Innes other than those 2. As Nugroho jumps up to second quickest once again with a 20.12. Dan Giroux up into 5th with a 20.18. Times are falling quick. The track is rubbering in. Figueroa does a 2017, jumps up to 4th quickest. Drivers are coming back out on track. Jake Stevens, Sebastian Van Dalen. Arnie Nugroho to the top of the board, 8 thousandths quicker than Elijah Innes. On his first ever laps on an oval, he's figuring this out quick, or the team cheated. One of the two will figure it out by the time we get to tech. It is a 20.083. We might be creeping towards a sub 20 second lap here in a minute if these guys can find more time, if the track just keeps getting quicker. 3.5 minutes to go in qualifying. People flying out there. McLennan does not improve, but he's staying close to the number to try and get there. Driver struggling at the moment is Jake Stevens in the 18, who has still not found a lap even quicker than 20.7. He is 0.3 of a second slower than the next fastest car, being his teammate, Chanarang Wangzuwat. So not a great start for the Rocket Van Dalen team. Oh no, the slowest... Oh wow, it's a Rocket Atkinson bottom 3 lockout currently with Wangzuwat, Jake Stevens, and Sebastian Van Dalen, which makes sense from a team that has nothing but touring car drivers.
But I would have thought they would have fared better on a short
back
oval.
up to the top. The one of Elijah Innes with a 20.028 takes it back from Nugroho, and that is on 19 lap old tires that he found that lap. He's been out there since the start of the session. He's not pitted for adjustments. He's not come in for fresh tires. This is straight out of the gate. That car has good long run pace. That car has good everything, and he nearly did it again. That's only the 4th time all qualifying somebody's done a sub 20.1, and 3 of those were him. Jake Stevens improves to a 20.6. He's finally broken that barrier. Sebastian Van Dalen to a 20.5. So he jumps out of last place ahead of his teammate. Wangzuwat improves to a 348 and nearly jumps up ahead of Alex Constantine. Dan Giroux is into the pits for adjustments and tires, but it might be too late in the session for him to get back out there and make improvements. Jake Stevens improves again to a 20.569. A .404 for Sebastian Van Dalen. But that lap time was found. A 492 for Jake Stevens. So the Rocket Atkinson drivers are starting to find some improvements now, but they're still the bottom 3 at the moment in qualifying. Final minute and a half before we enter the closing stage of qualifying. Elijah Innes is finally in, and that is to forfeit the rest of his run. He probably ran out of tires, honestly. He's been out there since the start of the session. He was on 23 lap old tires. Sebastian Van Dalen is the first of the Rocket Atkinson drivers to jump up into the actual pack with a 20.210 to 7th quickest. There will only be one driver who will leave this event not in the top 10. You don't want to be that one driver. You don't want that to go on everybody else's predictions for the season. Roberto Crown Jr. has still not pit yet. He's about to surpass Elijah Innes' lap count on those tires. As jumping up to 3rd quickest is Cale Teskar Jr. right at the end with 45 seconds remaining. So there's still some life in the tires out there. There's still some lap time to be made if you can find it. Constantine across the line with a 20.546. Still no improvement out of him since his first really big lap. Will anybody jump up the order right at the end? Nugroho, no. Van Dalen can't find anything. It looks like right now people are starting to stagnate here at the end of this qualifying session, whether it be by tires or else. No, maybe not. Jeff McLennan jumps to 3rd quickest with a 20.097. The 3rd driver to get into that sub 20.1 mark. Sebastian Van Dalen makes a huge leap forward to 5th quickest at 20.164. Right at the end of qualifying and everything. Trying to pull something off here. 3 seconds remain. 2, 1. Qualifying is concluded. Nugroho got a chance to complete a lap. Van Dalen did not. That's your qualifying. And on pole for the rookie shootout is Elijah Innes in the 1 car.